What in the hell was that?
Let's break down this grifter's insightful review one last time.
A whole lot of nothing happened in these last 3 episodes. You have a battle that happens between the group and between Riri, and it's not even impactful. It's like it doesn't matter.
You can say you don't like the show. Simple as that. You can have your personal reasons for not liking the show. But I'm going to let you know that that fight did matter in the essence of the TV show. In the scene that he's talking about, Riri is cornered in a White Castle to where she is trying to be murdered by her previous gangmates. During these fight scenes, she shows that she has the emotional maturity to try to talk down her assailants and actually use information that she found out against them. During this fight scene, she is able to put the seeds of doubt in Clown's mind that Stuart was killed by their gang leader. And then at the end of the fight scene, Zeke comes in, kicks Riri's butt, and then lets her go. All of this accumulating to show that the Hood's grasp on his team is unraveling.
And everybody was saying this whole week that Riri Williams is actually smarter than Tony Stark, but she needed magic to fix her suit.
Now this is how I know you didn't watch the show. She didn't need magic to fix her suit, she needed magic to enhance her suit. With all the gadgets and gizmos that Riri was putting onto her suit, she wasn't able to find a good enough power supply. She came down the same route that Iron Man came down, but instead of going down and trying to create her own arc reactor, she decided to go down the route of magic, which there is plenty of in the Marvel Universe.
How was she smarter than Tony Stark when she had to use magic? Do y'all forget that Tony built what he had in a cave?
You secondhand gum chewers really think you have something here. Just because you didn't watch any of the previous movies doesn't mean that all of us didn't, and I'm just going to let you know Tony used magic for his suits. Very specifically in one case, to defeat Thanos. He needed to use the magical Infinity Stones to destroy Thanos. He is the one who jumped on that grenade. And the fact that you guys are still saying that Tony built his suit in a cave is such a flex, even though that is the first suit he ever made, got destroyed and then used against him. Not for the fact that he was able to come back after getting his first suit destroyed, have $1 million mansion and resources at his disposal to create any number amount of suits that we were able to see. The question was, would Tony Stark be Tony Stark if he didn't have that money? And if anybody is unable to see the fact that Tony Stark needed a mountain load of cash to be able to create every single one of his suits to be Iron Man, then I don't know how to help you troglodytes at the end of the day. Even Riri acknowledges in her own show that she needs that mountain full of cash so she can be great too. None of that is saying that Tony isn't a genius, that Tony isn't an innovator, that Tony isn't a brilliant mind. But Tony needed to ride on the empire of what his father built so he would be able to run with the stuff that he could create.
And then we get a battle in episode 3 between the Hood and Riri Williams. And is it good? No! It's like it doesn't even matter.
Nerd corrector, please.
It's actually episode 6.
Thank you, Nerd Me. And you're using those words again like it doesn't even matter, because once again, you're talking about the fight scene at the end of the series, where Riri was able to subdue Zeke, able to unhack him, I guess would be the phrase to say it, just for her to go up against the Red Hood and trick him and be able to tear the hood off of him. You may have not liked it, but all of that mattered.
The actor, Anthony Ramos, he is great, he is good, he's trying his best to make this script work, but the actress for Riri, she's just not good enough.
Once again, giving no substance to why this is bad. I'll give it, Anthony Ramos' performance was absolutely amazing in this series. I felt for his character after understanding his backstory and seeing how he was kicked out of his house at 12 years old and only wanted his father's attention. But to fall back on the age-old criticism of the writing was bad just shows the lack of paying attention you were actually doing during the series. Dominique Thorne played an absolutely amazing and believable suburban genius.
And we finally, after waiting years after WandaVision, we get our first look at Mephisto. But is it actually Mephisto in his true form? No! Marvel, this is what you're doing now? You don't even get Mephisto in his true form. What was the point in this? What was the point? You should have just showed him in his true form.
Now, I'm referencing the MCU mainly here when it comes down to breaking down this video. I'm going to preference what I say next off with I do not read Marvel comic books all that often. But I believe Mephisto is supposed to be the representation of the devil in the Marvel Universe. Our first interaction with the devil, when it comes down to it in biblical sense, he shows up as a snake. The reason why I bring this up is because there are literary elements to storytelling. The devil in the Bible is kind of a big deal. He comes around quite often in storytelling. And to give only presentation of the character in his final form would do injustice to said character who's going to most likely show up in later portions of stories. And in all honesty, if you were a keen-eyed viewer, you were going to see that they did show you a little bit of Mephisto's form in the TV show already.
Again, the last 3 episodes are boring. They are badly paced, and the characters, you just can't get behind them because they're not believable. I feel like I'm not even watching the MCU. These are completely other characters in another world.
You cannot like the writing. That's something that comes down to personal preference. But you cannot tell me that this feels like this isn't meant to be in the MCU. Because everything that was presented in this MCU series was already pre-established in previous movies. We've already established that there are people who can make iron suits and fly around the world. We've already established that there are magic users around the world training themselves in the works of mystic arts. And then to say that none of this fits into what the MCU is nowadays just shows your lack of understanding any film that came before this.
And then Riri Williams as a character, she's still irredeemable. She sold her soul to the devil. Why would I want to get behind her? Just because she wanted to save her sister? Who cares? The superhero doesn't do that. This is why this show is absolute garbage.
Actually, it was her best friend.
Throughout media and throughout a whole bunch of storytelling, there has been heroes and anti-heroes who have made deals with the devil. A lot of these people who made the deals with these devils have came back and shown that making a deal with the devil is actually a bad thing, and they learned from their story arc of making said deal. Another word for that is they redeemed themselves. The fact that her series just came out, everybody saying that she's irredeemable at this point, just shows the fact that everybody has a lack of knowledge when it comes to storytelling. Tony Stark made a deal with science. His literal creations were killing him and saving him at the same time. Doctor Strange made a deal with Dormammu, but we still see him as a redeeming character. You can like the show, you can not like the show. That is all personal preference. But when you come onto the internet and spout garbage like this, saying that there's nothing that matters in the TV show, just shows that you're a grifter, you don't know how to comprehend anything literary, and I think you should honestly take a step back and maybe just read a book. Now, anybody who made it this far, I would really appreciate it if you liked and shared this video. The guy who originally posted this video only had about 1 minute and 50 seconds to it. My video is already past the 8-minute mark. The reason why I point this out is because there are people out there that are putting low-form content out just so that way they can get thousands of views. I'm hoping that this shows that I'm not just trying to grift for your guys' attention, and that I'm actually passionate towards the stuff that I'm reviewing, talking about, and doing on my day-to-day life for TikTok.